Hi everyone, welcome back to Python only for data science video series. In this series, we are going to learn only that much of Python which is required so that we can move into the field of data science. And following along in this series, in this particular video, we're gonna talk about control flow statements in Python on how you can manage the flow of your program in Python. We're gonna look into how you can create if else, elif, for, range, and couple of more stuff. And if you're someone who wants to learn about computer science, engineering, data science, and something related to programming, then please consider subscribing the channel and let's get into the video. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with this screencast. And in this particular video, as I said earlier, we're going to talk about if else, elif, while, for, and range. Really important, and it's really going to help you out. So alright, so even before we get started and talk about the control flow statements, right, let us actually understand what are actually these, right? So let us take a scenario that you have to go outside and it is raining, right? Let's go ahead and look at what happens. So here you look at the flow chart. It starts with, hey, it is raining. If it is raining, there are two options. Either it is yes or it is no. If it is raining, right, if you go over here, we check if you have an umbrella. If you have an umbrella, then you come down, that is yes, then you can go outside. Whereas if you do not have an umbrella, then you wait for a while, right, and then again you check if it's raining. If it is still raining, you again wait, while if it's not raining, you go outside. Whereas if it at very first case, if you check if it is raining, and if it is not, so you go outside. So you see over here what is actually happening. There's a lot of condition that you check, right? Hey, if it is raining or not, if it do you have umbrella or not, then you have to wait also. So if you have to go ahead and perform this type of functionality in your programming program, so what you actually do, we have a concept called control flow, which actually allow you to either repeat a certain set of lines in a program, or to skip a certain set of line in a program. So you can all do that using this control flow statements. And the very first control flow statement that we have is the if statement, and you will find it almost in every programming language. Couple of things to remember when you go ahead and start writing if condition is that it has an if keyword. It means it is going to have the if word. It checks the condition if that condition is true or false. It is followed by a colon, and when you go ahead and start writing the block of the if statement, it starts with some left indentation. Now, to understand a little more clearly, let's go ahead and look at the syntax, right? So you see, syntax is actually in how you actually write a certain set of control flow statements, or it may be any programming statement, right? So we first write if, that is, you always have to write if, then test condition, then there's a colon, there's a code block. Now, to understand here is that this code block, right, whatever you can see from the left hand side, we have some space that is called left indentation, right? So everything that you write over here, it will always fall into this line. Okay, so this becomes a code of block. So anything that is written inside this code block will get executed only if this test condition is true, right? If this test condition is true, only then this code block will be executed. If it is not true, then this code block will not be executed, and the program will move to the next line. Now, to understand and to give an example, let us suppose, say we write if name is equal to Alice. Now, suppose you declare a variable as name as Alice, and then you actually check if name is Alice. Now, if you do not understand, here we are not assigning the value, but here we are checking if name variable has the value of Alice or not. And if you do not understand it, I would suggest you to go back and watch the previous video of this series, where we did discuss in detail about these comparison operators, right? So if name is equal to Alice, if it is true, then you have to print hi Alice. If it is not, then you just omit it. Now, if in case the variable name was actually Alice, it would print hi Alice. If not, then it won't print it. I'm not gonna do it practically because I would suggest you to take a screenshot of it, pause the video, take a screenshot, and go ahead and implement it on your own. And if you want to go learn on how to implement these Python codes, I made a video on this series, how to write your very first Python program. Very important. Please go ahead and check it out, and then you will be able to execute all those. Now, this was if statement, right? Now, there might be some situation where you want to execute if a if condition is false. Right now here we say if test condition is true, then execute this block. But maybe you want to execute that, hey, if this test condition is false, then also you want to execute a certain code block. In that case we have something called if statement, right? If else statement. Now again, if you look at points, remember it has else word, it has else keyword, right? It has colon, and again it has some left indentation from your left hand side. Now to look at this syntax, very simple. If test condition, then colon code block, else, then this code block. Now to understand this clearly, let's look at it. If this test condition is true, then this code block get executed. Else, if this test condition is not true, then this code block will be executed, right? So if this test condition is true, this will be executed, and if this test condition is not true, this code block will be executed. So now you're getting it, right? If it is raining, you go outside. If it is not raining, you stay inside. Okay, I just changed it, right? Okay, now let us look at the example that we have. Is that we again take if name is Alice, print hi Alice, right? Else print hello stranger. Now if this test condition is in any way true, then this line will be executed, that is print hi Alice. And if in any case this test condition is not true, or you can say this test condition is false, we are going to print hello stranger. Very simple. Pause the video, take a screenshot and execute it. But don't forget to declare a variable called name, right? That is important. All right, that brings us to the next statement that we have, that is elif. Now we did say that, hey, if a condition is true, execute this block of code. Else, if it is false, execute this block of code. But maybe in some situation you just don't want to execute a code if it is false, whereas you again want to go ahead and check a condition, right? You want to check condition multiple times. So for that we have elif statement. It starts with an elif keyword. It evaluates if an expression is true or false. It is followed by a colon, and again it has some indentation from the left hand side. Very similar to the previous one. Let us look at the syntax that we have. We say if test condition, then this code block, elif this test condition. So what it is going to do, that it is first going to test this condition. If this test condition is true, it is going to execute this code block. Else, if this test condition is true, right, it is going to execute this block. So first it is going to execute this one. If it is false, it is going to come here, and again it is going to check condition over here. If only if test condition here is true, it is going to execute it, right? Now if test condition becomes true over here, it won't come. It will just skip the entire one, right? So if this test condition is true, it is going to execute it. If no, then it won't. All right, let's move to the example. We have if name is equal to Alice, print hi Alice. Else if age is less than 12, print you are not Alice. You see, we are not just defining one condition, but we are here actually defining two conditions. Okay, simple. Take a screenshot, pause the video and practice it. All right, now we move to the while loop, and something that is very interesting with the while loop you just want to understand is anything that you write inside a while loop, right? Loop. So anything that you write inside the while loop, it will keep on executing unless a condition is reached where it is false. So if a condition is true, it will always keep in executing a certain set of code, and the moment the condition becomes false, it is going to stop the execution of those line of statement. Points to remember, it has while keyword, it test expression and evaluates true and false. It is followed by colon, and again it has the indentation. Let us go ahead and look at the syntax. We are very similar to if. We write while, test condition, then code block. Remember, whatever you write inside this code block, if it is with while, it will keep on executing unless a condition is reached where it is false. To go ahead and look at the example, let us see. We have declared a variable called spam, and we've assigned a value as 0, and then we check while spam is less than 5, which is true, right? Because the value of spam is 0, this test condition becomes true, and then over here this line will be executed. Print hello world, and once we print hello world, what we are also doing is we're increasing the value of spam by 1. So currently the value of spam is 0. So here this value of spam is 0. We increment it by 1. It's 0 plus 1, 1. Then we again assign the value to spam. 0 plus 1, 1. So now the value of spam is 1. So once it reaches towards the end of this line, it again goes back to the while statement, checks if the condition is still true or not, which is true. For now the value of spam is 1. which is less than 5 and it is true, it is again going to print this hello world. So it is going to do it until a time is reached where the value of spam is more than 5, say 6. It is going to go back and check if 6 is less than 5, it is false. So it won't print this statement hello world. Again, pause the video, take a screenshot, go and execute it. Few things to understand here is we have two very interesting statements, that is break and continue statements. Break is a shortcut to getting the program execution to break out a while loop clausely. So there might be, so you see the example over here, there might be some conditions where a while loop just won't stop it, right? It will just keep on executing and looping it. So if in any case you want to stop the execution of a while loop, you can go ahead and use this break statement. You can also use it in if statements, not a problem. Whereas we have a statement called continue. Now if you want, when the program execution reaches a continue statement, the program execution immediately jumps back to the start of the loop and reevaluates a loop condition. It means, so if you see the continue, it will again go back to the while and it will again start executing it. On the screen you have both the examples. Again, pause the video, take a screenshot, execute it, and that's only you're going to learn it right. So quickly we'll move to the last segment, that is for and range. So even before I talk about for, think of range as range, anything that you pass inside this range function right over here, anything that you pass, and then we have given 5, right? It is going to give you a series of number. If I write range of 3 range, then inside the parenthesis 3, it is going to give me the numbers 0 1 2. If I write range inside the parenthesis 7, then 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Now to understand this, for now that was with the range function. Now let's go back and actually see what are for loops. Now for loop has a keyword for, it has a variable name, it has in keyword, and it has colon, and again it starts with an indentation. So if you look at the example, we write for I in range of 5, right? We just did it for I in range of 5. Now every I, right, corresponds to a single value of range. For example, when we have written range of 5, it means for first time the value of I will be 0, then it will be incremented by 1 2 3 4. So it will be 0 1 2 3 4. So all the values of range that we have, it will be assigned to the I variable every single time, right, by incrementing it 1. So we say for I in range of 5, the way we read it is for every element that is in the range of 5, right? So range of 5 has 0 1 2 3 4. For I, you can write it any variable, right? It can be C D, or it can be a car, or any word also. So the way we read it is for every element in range of 5, print Jimmy 5 times, then string the value of I, and that's it. So what we're actually doing is we're printing the value of I over here. So if you run this program, how you see is it says Jimmy 5 times 0, Jimmy 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, and 5 times 4. So you can see we just wrote a statement once and it was executed like 5 times, and we didn't even write it, we just gave the value as a range of 5. And remember, we gave 5 but it started printing from 0, so that's why we reached only 4. So that was very quick to understand between the for, if, else if, and if else statement. I would definitely suggest that this was a very quick tutorial, and you should always go ahead and practice it. And that's it in this screencast. Alright, so that was it in this video. In the next video, we're gonna see on how you can use functions in Python, which is very important and fundamental to any programming language. So I'll see you there in the next video. Until then, take good care of yourself and don't forget to subscribe and like the video.